All right, shalom, shalom. It's the Prodigal Shop coming back at you with another lesson. And before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash, Yahweh being a true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai being a true name of the only begotten Son, Savior of Israel, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right, Bahashem means in the name. I also want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me the truth and rule well. And peace, blessings, and many salutations to the hopefully elect, as well as those that believe in the gospel, and may you endure it to the end, Lord willing. All right, now as you can see, the article I got queued up, all right, in which an already fragile economy, all right, that's on the brink of an absolute collapse, all right, the banking system, the housing system, all right. This economy is is being held up by a broken ankle, all right, on its last leg, but it has a broken ankle, all right, and a dislocated Achilles, man, all right, because it actually can get worse than what it is, okay. But until the Lord's wills be done, all right, and it actually goes completely out of the way, all right, then Esau Edom tries to incorporate his new world, all right, the Novus Ordo Seclorum, all right, and until he tries to accomplishment, the society that we're currently living in is going to ultimately be it's going to continue to run. All right, until this devil actually wants to crash everything. All right, but as you can see, it says higher interest rates have created 63 problem banks and a 517 billion in unrealized losses. The FDIC says. All right, now it says key points: high interest rates continue to put pressure on the U.S. banking system, okay, in which this is their goal, all right, to deter, which you raise the interest rates to deter people from spending U.S. money, all right, or you can ultimately solve all your problems because you just print the money out of thin air, right? But let's just continue to hike the rates. So now you got a point to where the banks are losing money, right? Because it's gonna say, all right, but with high interest rates in this economy, it's at the point of where no one's buying anything, all right? No one's buying houses, cars, taking out loans, because everything is at a point of being unpayable, all right? You buy something right now, you probably going to pay it twice over till you pay it back, right? So, I mean, smart people wouldn't buy anything, all right? If you do, you use your savings, all right, with the intentions of recuperating it back, all right? But it's just the interest rates just skyrocket, man, all right? They're too high, and it's unaffordable, okay? Whereas, 2 or 3 years ago, you could have bought a house for $250,000 and had a $950 to $1,000 mortgage rate, all right? Nowadays, you buy that same house for $250,000 is damn near doubled, man. All right, you pay almost $2,000, all right, just for the mortgage, okay? And which is why this society is going to continue to crumble, all right? Because once the people who live in a country, all right, who participate in the economy, all right, stop spending money, then there's going to be an issue. You see, on top of already inflation is through the roof, groceries, all right. You can clearly see that this place is at the end of itself, man. All right, now it says the FDIC said the U.S. banking system has 63 problem banks and is sitting on 517 billion in unrealized losses, right? Now it says upward pressure on mortgage rates has significantly hurt the banking sector. You see? Because when you buy a house, you have to have a lender, all right? Somebody has to lend you the money, all right, that you pay back over a 30-year fixed rate, okay? So you can actually get the house that you buy, right? Now, it says more than a year after the downfall of the Silicon Valley Bank, higher interest rates are still putting pressure on the U.S. banking system. It says, according to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's first quarter report, the U.S. banking system is sitting on a collective $517 billion in unrealized losses and has 63 problem banks. These losses have been sparked primarily by a surge in interest rates over the past 2 years, right? Which have driven down the price of fixed income securities held by banks. You see? So the interest rates are messing everything up, right? Now, which these devils was supposed to come back in January of 2024 and start slashing them, but they haven't done it yet, all right? And in fact, it actually has went up by a couple points, man, okay? Now, we had Joe Salente a while back saying, you know, once this, I think it was maybe 25 more basis points. This was about a year or two ago. Not two, but maybe a year and a couple of months ago. All right, Mr. Joe Salente is one of the keepers of the house, right? Now, he says if it goes up past this point about 0.25 more basis points, there's no coming back for the economy, man. All right, in which they raised it up more than those 0.25 basis points, you see? But the U.S. money, the petrodollar is tied into so many things, all right, so many different currencies, and it's backed by absolutely nothing, but it's just tied into so many people's economy that it's at a point to where it just takes a minute for it to actually crash, right? Now, it says, it was unrealized losses held by banks increased by $39 billion in the first quarter relative to the fourth quarter of 2023. Higher unrealized losses on residential mortgage-backed securities resulting from the higher mortgage rates in the first quarter drove the overall increase, right? So it says mortgage rates have been on the rise since the start of the year, so it's supposed to decrease, but they've been on the opposite, right? It's been going up, with the 30-year fixed mortgage rate rising from about 6.6% in early January to over just 7% today, all right, which is absolutely ridiculous, you see? Now, it says this is the 9th straight quarter of unusually high unrealized losses since the Federal Reserve began to raise interest rates in the first quarter of 2022, right? The FDIC said from 2008 through 2021, the U.S. banking system's unrealized losses and gains on investment securities ranged from as much as $75 billion in losses to just under $150 billion in gains, right? So you're not making the money up, right? You're losing $75 billion, but you're only making up $150 billion. Okay? That's a little bit more to get the point. Right, they getting ready to do away with all these extra banks, man. All right. These problem banks, these are smaller banks. They call them problem banks because they're destined to crash. And they're going to need FDIC help, just like the SVB Bank, the Silicon Valley. All right, in which you already have people going to do, getting their money out the banks anyway. Okay, so they're not able to really buy, trade, sell, all right, with the money that's in your account. You see, it's becoming harder for them to do fractional reserve banking. You see, now I believe that was it in this. All right. Yeah, I believe that was it. So I'm gonna let this video by Clayton Morris from Redacted play, in which the title says, "Are you prepared for the 2024 economic collapse?" Right, and he made some good points. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just let this play. All right.
Are you prepared for the coming economic collapse? Because here we go. In 2024, we're going to be seeing regional banks falling and failing hard and fast. We're already seeing it. So this is not some conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, fear-mongering. It's already happening. So if you're going to write fear-mongering in the comments, save your typing fingers because it's already happening. There were major turmoil in the banking industry last year, of course. We saw the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, First Republic Bank. All went down like a string of dominoes. Later in the year, we saw the demise of Silvergate Bank and Heartland Tri-State Bank. Combined, their $440 billion in assets created the biggest collapse since the inception of the FDIC. Think about it. The FDIC had to step in and use up almost the bulk of its insurance money to cover most of these losses. Unbelievable. So you might want to ask yourself, how much money does the FDIC actually have left? The answer is not very much. When you dive into the details of the FDIC, you will be shocked. You will be stunned, and you will leave with your...
All right, so the FDIC is the people who pretty much insure the banks, man. All right, so when the bank crashes, as I was reading the other article, the FDIC comes in. All right, it's like an insurance, right? When you have a claim, you need to use your insurance, you make a claim, and they come in and pay for everything, right? So if that insurance company doesn't have any money, or very minimal money, and you have 70 other banks that's on the brink of crashing, all right, or the brink of running out of money, then what happens? They just crash, all right? There's no one that'll pick them up, all right? The FDIC, it can't pick them up, you see? So as you're going to start witnessing more and more banks just failing, man, completely, all right? It is going to be closed for business, man, all right? Because America is getting ready to be closed for business, man. You see?
Jaw dropped. I'm telling you, it's a stunning thing once you realize that the emperor has no clothes. While we've yet to see any massive banks fail in 2024, we've seen a number of regional banks failing, one after the other, month after month in 2024. So it's only a matter of time until we see the next big shoe to fall. And these small banks are being gobbled up by the big boys. Here's why this is happening. This is one big piece of it. Commercial real estate. All those commercial real estate loans coming due this year into next, and all of these small regional banks are expected to face major turbulence. Office, retail spaces have faced high vacancy rates in the past few years as work from home culture took over.
Right, and the work, like he was about to say, the work from home culture took over, man. All right, in which is why you have companies just laying people off, hundreds of people, thousands of people left and right, because they can't afford the actual buildings, all right, that they're paying for, okay? And you'll ultimately see in stores themselves closing, man. You see? So, when you can't afford, all right, the rent where you have a business or a building, all right, you're not making enough money back for it, what do? You just foreclose on everything, man. You just let it go. Shut it down, all right, which is why you have more and more businesses closing and laying off employees, man. All right, and ultimately they can work from home, which turns out to be less expensive for the employer. You see?
The shift has changed the game in the office space industry, leaving many buildings totally vacant or 70% vacant. This, combined with continued high interest rates, is creating a pinch for lenders and leaseholders. So if you've taken out a commercial real estate loan and you're coming back to try to refinance it because it was a 5-year flexible rate, and now the rates are, of course, way higher, that commercial bank, that small local regional bank, is going to say, sorry, we can't do that. We can't refinance that. We don't have the assets to do that. We don't have the money to do that. Most leaseholders have no interest in refinancing. At this point, many commercial properties are valued lower than the debt. And with that way, the rates have been, of course, they've increased over the past few years. It just doesn't make any sense to refinance into a higher interest rate loan right now. You see? So the commercial real estate runs on debt. But when the debt doesn't fit the deal, someone has to take a loss. And in commercial real estate, especially high-rise office spaces, the losses are enormous right now. Even big-name companies like BlackRock have defaulted on their commercial loans.
Right.
Despite any effort made.
When you got BlackRock, man, defaulting on commercial loans, which, I don't really know whether to believe that or not. You take everything with a grain of salt. All right. But as we know that BlackRock, it pretty much controls majority of the entertainment industry. All right, I want to say the stock market and different things like that. When you go and do your research and look up what BlackRock and Vanguard is, that's pretty much something that's owned by the elites. All right. That's what they own everything through, BlackRock and Vanguard, right? So when you actually go and look at it, if BlackRock, all right, did he say Vanguard? Salakia.
And in commercial real estate, especially high-rise office spaces, the losses are enormous right now. Even big-name companies like BlackRock have defaulted on their commercial loans.
Right. So when you have BlackRock defaulting on their loans, man, what do you think is getting ready to happen next? This system got to go. You see? But I'll let a little more play and get a couple precepts and get up out of here.
Any effort made by regulators to ensure stability and faith in the banking sector, there's still a lot of risk happening. Listen to what the FDIC chair, Sheila Bair, had to say. This is former FDIC chair, Sheila Bair. I love when these people leave these posts because when they're former, they can speak a little bit more extemporaneously about what's really going on here and about the turmoil that's coming ahead. Listen.
We're kind of in the same place we were last spring and still at the same risk of uninsured deposit runs. So I think that's something regulators need to deal with and go to Congress and get reinstatement of the FDIC's emergency authority. They're trying to cover this through lending facilities at the Fed and the Federal Home Loan Banks, but that only works until it doesn't. That's much more expensive sources of funding. And it's not, if you're an uninsured depositor, I don't know if you're going to wait around and think, okay, they can borrow plenty from the Fed. If you think the bank's in trouble, you're going to be worried. So I do think this is still a problem.
Any bank that has a large portion of commercial real estate in their portfolio is in for a world of hurt. And unfortunately, it's going to be the little guys that take huge losses. Federal Reserve data from September 2023, listen to this, showed that commercial real estate comprised 44% of portfolios at small banks versus only 14% of the country's 25 big banks. You see what's about to happen? A lot of these small banks are going to be gobbled up. So what then? Sadly, it's only a matter of time. We're going to see Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, all of them grabbing these smaller banks, cornering a larger monopoly in the banking industry. This is exactly what the Federal Reserve wants. They want a few big banks to control everything. It's clear that these collapses tend to impact smaller and mid-sized banks, especially those that are not well diversified. They make their...
Right. So, and that's the point, man. They want to corner it off, cut all of these small banks out, all right, and have all of the big banks, the Chase, the Wells Fargos, the Capital Ones, you look at a list of the biggest banks, all right, and they want to implement the system, all right, using those banks, man, all right, whether it be, I forget the name of the instant payment thing that they started up about a year ago in July, the FedNow, right? So you have all of these banks with the FedNow, all right? Hey, man, the system is ready to go, okay? Now, they just gradually breaking down the smaller banks, all right, consolidating and moving them to the bigger banks, right? But a crash, as it says, the 2024 economic collapse, and Lord will, it happens this year, man, all right? And send more things spiraling out of control, okay, along with DJ Donald Trump, all right, and his compadres ready to go to war. You see? Perfect timing. Hey, call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You see? Now, now this is two quick precepts real quick, through the spirit, and I get out of here with this. Now it says the economic collapse, right? Here's the prophecy of it. It's Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 10. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord Yahweh, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills, right? Because we know that hills, all right, or mountains are represented in the scriptures as governments, man. All right. So you can see a government that crashed, you see? And when you look at a trade, I forget the exact name of it. When you look at something like a Wall Street trade, all right, you see numbers in lines, right? And the lines that you see, they go up and down, it looks like hills, right? Now, as you've seen in the beginning of, I think I exited out, in that video that I played with your boy from Redacted, the arrows and the lines were going down, right, which represents a crash, you see? Now it says, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, which was a ancient city, all right, but it was known for trade, you see? It's like an ancient Wall Street, okay? In which this Wall Street, all right, here in Babylon the Great, is getting ready to be cut off, as it says. How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, and all they that bear silver are cut off. You see? All right, and we know, as it says in the next couple of verses, that the desolation will shortly follow. You see? Punishing the men starting at Jerusalem that was settled on their leads, that was comfortable in this society. All right, and the spirit just been having these false teachers that took the bag ultimately reveal themselves, man. All right, because when this system go, their businesses, all right, are going to go with it. All right. Now it says in verse 13, man. All right. Now I'm not gonna read it. I just want to be straight to the point, not get kind of sidetracked. Now, this Ecclesiastes 12:3, it says, in a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, okay, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. You see? And as you have these different economists, all right, which that's what the keepers of the house are, the economists, all right, goes into household management, okay, and those that manage the house, the Babylon the Great, those who are managing the house of Babylon the Great, okay, are trembling, you see, because they can see their demise, right? They can see themselves, they can see the economy crashing, all right, and they don't know what to do because they can't do anything about it, you see, because they're looking out the window and it's dark. All right. You know how you see a storm coming? All right. When you look out of a window, well, that's what they see. All right. They see the thundering. They see the dark clouds. They don't see any sun. All right. Because this place is finished. You see? Which is why I tell you in Micah 2 to rise and depart, because this ain't your rest, man. All right. Now, I'm going to end it off in this Jeremiah. I think it's 51. Could have healed Babylon. Right. Now, this Jeremiah 51:7, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto the heaven, and is lifted up even unto the skies. All right. And that's the point. Case in point, that Babylon can't be healed, man. All right. It will not be healed. Okay. The economy, all right, and everything else in this society is going to get much and much worse. You see? And they call Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai for it. All right. Because we're ready for our king. All right. Our big brother Yahweh Shai to rule. You see? in righteousness. All right, because that's another thing too. The earth is completely out of discourse, man. All right. There's only so much longer that the Lord is going to hold the hand of this place, okay? And that it ultimately be cut off. You see? Now, that was pretty much the point, all right? So, Lord willing, that was edifying and informative, all right? Now, before I go, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and the others of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and many salutations to the hopefully elect. Till next time, I say shalom. Shalom.